Hi, my name's Leo and I'm a boat builder and a sailor, and I'm in the process of sailing this boat back from the Pacific Ocean to the UK in time to compete once again in the Fastnet Race 100 years after she won it in 1927. After 7 years of rebuilding the boat and a year of sailing in Canada, we're now well on our way towards the Panama Canal, but we're waiting in northern Mexico for hurricane season to pass before we can go any further south. In this video, we're finally going to leave Ensenada and continue our journey, but first of all, we're going to work on the deck, the rig, the varnish, and experience some top-notch Mexican culture. Now, in the last video, we decided to paint the dinghy, and we asked you what color it should be. Now we've got it back, and we can reveal the new look. Okay, so we've got our boat back, and it looks like a brand new or even a completely different boat. It looks really great. I'm very pleased. They've done a really meticulous job. Brothers Paint and Fiberglass is the name of the guys who did this here in Ensenada, and they're very high quality work. They sprayed this with all grip, and I asked for this color in the bottom, and they've put this non-skid on here, so that's going to make it quite a lot more practical to use because it was kind of slippery before.
We'd be trying to stay on one side and we'd be slipping down, so that was hard.
Oh, yeah, and now it's got the grip.
Now we have the grip. Yeah, that's what that's for.
And it's going to be way more practical to maintain than the varnish which was on here before. And I've got plenty of varnish teak on tally-ho to look at and to maintain, so I'm not at all upset about losing the varnished plywood here. They also repaired a lot of scratches on the bottom of the boat and a little bit of damage around here, so it's really had a complete overhaul. So I've just got to put the hardware back on and it'll be ready to use again. Okay. I'm missing one screw. Once all the hardware was attached to the dinghy, I cut out some new leather pieces to prevent chafe in certain areas. This piece is where the front of the bow section of the boat lands when it's nested. I was very pleased with the paint job, the only downside being that it now looks so perfect, it almost looks like a production fiberglass boat. And part of the intention with painting was to make the boat look less valuable, but I think it actually looks more valuable now. So I've concluded that Brothers Paint and Fiberglass are too good at what they do. Not to worry though, after a few months of use I'm sure it'll look a bit more beat up like the rest of my stuff. Now Tally-Ho's deck is a traditionally laid deck, which means it's solid pieces of wood. They're 2 inches thick in this case, and there's no plywood or fiberglass underneath. The functions of the deck, both structural and keeping water out, rely on all the planks being pressed up hard against each other and the cotton and rubber caulking in between them. With any traditionally laid deck, it's very important to get salt water on it often. This keeps the planks saturated and stops them drying out too much, in which case they would shrink, let water through and not be as structurally effective. The salt water also displaces any fresh rainwater which might have landed on the deck. Fresh water, if it's left, can cause rot, whereas salt water doesn't, and in fact it prevents it. So washing down the deck is a daily chore that we do every single morning on Tally-Ho. And as we're sailing into hotter climates, it becomes more and more important. In this case, we're actually scrubbing the deck as well, and we don't do that every day, we do that every week or two. Always scrubbing across the grain of the wood so as not to wear it down too much, and just generally removing the dirt and grime that builds up with use. As you can see, our cap rail had not been scrubbed for a long time, and although it looked great afterwards, I kind of regretted starting, because of course once you start you should really do the whole thing. In this case we did not scrub the whole thing because we had a million other jobs to do before leaving, so we currently have one very clean, beautiful piece of cap rail and the rest of it is very grey. Finishing that job is now on the extended list, and we'll get to it eventually. Alright, so we're getting ready for the next part of our trip from here down to Cabo, and a couple of exciting things. We bought an asymmetric spinnaker. Now eventually, of course, I want to get a really nice spinnaker that's designed for this boat and is the right colour and everything else and has the right geometry, but for now we don't really have the time to get something designed and made and delivered, so I just bought a really affordable, cheap, second-hand asymmetric spinnaker, and I'm going to see how it flies, and that hopefully will also help inform how we actually design our long-term spinnaker. But for now I think it'll be really useful because we might be doing some downwind light air legs, and an asymmetric spinnaker will help us sail faster in lighter winds. So I got to do some rigging so that we can fly this. So I'm going to take a block up, put another block up in the mast, in the rig, top of the lower mast. This asymmetric is not the biggest possible one we could fly. That would go from the top of the top mast. This is going to go from the top of the lower mast, so it's a sort of not as big as it could be. Ideally we would have one for each hoist point eventually. But anyway, I'm going to do this, put this up there. I'm going to also just do a general rig check to make sure there's nothing that needs attention up there since I last had a look. And then this will be the new halyard for the spinnaker. And because I'm devoted to getting hashtag content, I'm going to wear this camera as well.
How soon do we leave?
Oh, well, we're leaving in a couple of days, or maybe even tomorrow, but probably Tuesday. It's Sunday today. So, yeah, last bits of preparation. There's quite a lot to do still, as always. But yeah, the weather looks good, and doesn't look like there's any more hurricanes forming. So I think we're good to go. I had already been experimenting with different positions for the halyard block, and neither this one that I'm installing now nor the other one next to it are actually permanent. This is sort of a trial run to see what works and what doesn't work for when we actually get Tally-Ho's real spinnaker made. The rest of the rig check involved hoisting myself to the very top of the topmast and just inspecting everything for signs of chafe or wear or any other issues. I did find a couple of shackles that needed mousing. That is the process of just wrapping a wire through the hole in the pin of the shackle. It just locks it closed and makes sure it can't be somehow opened accidentally. These were not particularly critical shackles, so it wasn't really a big deal, but they should all really be moused, so I got out my mousing wire and sorted that out. The rest of the rig looked good, although it will be time for some more serious maintenance in the next couple of months. Meanwhile, Ricardo was doing a beautiful job finishing up the last coat of varnish on the hatches. He was an incredibly skilled and hard-working guy and managed to get 7 coats on the main companionway hatch and the brightwork around the cockpit, as well as a couple on the skylight hatch, which was in much better condition. Ricardo, ¿todo finito?
Sí, todo finito.
Es muy bueno, muy bonito y
Muchas gracias.
muy buen provecho.
Gracias.
¿Cuándo manos? Más o menos
7, 7.
7. Sí, muy bien. Good? Bueno?
Español.
No.
Hasta luego.
Muchas
Gracias,
gracias, Ricardo.
Gracias.
Hasta luego. At this point we were very close to leaving and we're doing the last checks and big provisioning runs, stowing away food in every corner of the boat, keeping a very close eye on the weather, and discussing our decision to attempt this passage with just the 2 of us. We were a little bit nervous about it because we'd never done a long passage with just 2 people on this boat before, and of course it's a big rig, it's a lot to handle, and it can be hard to get enough sleep. After a lot of discussion and consideration, we decided we were confident to give it a go, especially because we had a very favourable weather forecast with mostly light conditions. With the last coat of varnish on, we put the covers back on the hatches. Of course, it's a real shame in some ways to cover up all that beautiful work, but very soon we're going to be in the tropics, and the traditional varnish in particular that we use doesn't seem to stand up that well to very strong UV. This way we can take the covers off whenever we need the boat to look good, or when we're back up in higher latitudes. Good job, thanks.
Hey, no problem. That was really fast. High five. My other high five. Chest bump.
Finally, it was the morning of departure. We took off the last of the sail covers, packed the last of the provisions, got rid of our rubbish, unplugged the shore power, filled the diesel tanks, and got ready to cast off. Okay, so it's been another great couple of weeks in Ensenada. We've got a lot of good work done, continued to meet some great people and enjoy being here in Mexico. And very shortly, we're going to be heading out now and starting our passage to the next port, which is quite a way down the coast. We're going to try and get to Cabo on the southern tip of Baja California. And it's going to be just the 2 of us, Marit and I, and then we're going to meet some more crew down there. But that'll all be coming up in the next video. So for now, thanks a lot for watching, and a massive, massive thank you to everyone who has donated or otherwise supported this channel. It does make a huge difference. It means we're able to keep on sailing and maintaining this boat, and it means we're able to keep on making these videos. So I really, really appreciate it. Well, it's kind of strange to be feeling the boat moving. It's been so long. I mean, 5 weeks, but it feels like a long time. But it feels really good to get moving again. I think it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. But I'm really looking forward to that point, sort of 2 days into a passage where you're just totally relaxed and enjoying it. So we'll see. It's foggy today, and I think it's supposed to be pretty light wind today and tonight, and then a little bit more wind tomorrow. So we'll see if we can sail or not. We'll certainly put the main up right now, regardless. We might be motoring a bit tonight, but yeah, we've escaped Ensenada. Next stop, hopefully, Cabo or La Paz, somewhere in that direction.